That's a good one for these waters, isn't it, Tofield?
Now that is a nice Pickwick smallmouth.
But that's dinner.
O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson is presented each week by Works Power Share. Share batteries, save money.
Hello again, everyone. I'm O'Neill Williams, and welcome to our program. It's a bitterly cold November gray day. It rained yesterday. It's going to rain tomorrow. The wind's blowing, but we're going to have a great trip on Pickwick Lake with Brian Barton. You've seen him on the show before, and I'll bet you we catch him. And you'll see it today on O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson. We got plenty of bait. I hook them in the lips like that. Shad.
Coming off that shoreline there, it's a lot of mud and chunk rock. But when you get on out here where we are, it turns into the bedrock and river gravel. And it transitions right behind that bridge column. So we're just trying to stay on the transition between the mud and rock and the bedrock.
Okay.
And it's just a staging area. They come in here. Typically, the harder the current runs, the closer they push to the shore. If we didn't have this much current, I'd be 50 yards farther out in the river. But today I've moved in a little because the current's strong today. So.
You have such confidence.
Well,
how many days a year do you spend on the lake?
probably about 200.
Well, then you should know where they live. All right, what is it? Oh, yeah, there's a nice representative smallmouth.
Yeah, that's just a little, about a 12-inch smallmouth bass.
Is there a limit for smallmouth?
There is a limit for smallmouth. It's 5 per person, and it has to be 15 inches.
Oh.
Now, I personally...
15-inch smallmouth's a big fish.
Right, it is. And I personally like to let all the smallmouth go. If somebody wants something to eat, maybe white bass, spotted bass, because these are a beautiful fish, and it's okay to keep a few, but that'll be a nice fish here in 3 or 4 years.
You betcha.
So let's let her go.
Well, I watched your technique there, and I think I got it.
All righty.
Oh, got a big one.
Got a big old drum, I believe.
What is your average day? Somebody calls you, you put in, this time of year it's cold. What's your average day?
On a cold day like today, 15 to 20 fish is pretty good.
Okay.
On a day like today.
Well, our weather conditions, it was rain like anything yesterday, cold front today, and it's going to rain tomorrow. River's up 2 feet and flowing like mad. So
it's a guide's nightmare today, but we're making the best of it. But when things are right, 50 to 100 fish every day.
Every single day.
Catfish, white bass, smallmouth, largemouth. We're going to catch 7 or 8 species.
Which is what we did last time at a different place on the river.
Exactly.
Oh, what do you got?
Big old purple freshwater drum.
A drum. I don't mind that. All right, tell me about this fish.
This is a freshwater drum. We have a bunch of these fish in the lake. People have asked me if it's a cousin or kin to the black drum in the Gulf. I would say yes. It's definitely a drum family.
Shape.
I have had people tell me they actually eat good. The only thing I've ever used them for, they're trash fish or non-game, so I've used them for trot line bait. Catfish love them, but they actually say they eat good. If you cut the bloodline out, it's a real white
just like a redfish.
Like cutting a redfish or striper.
Or a striper, you cut the bloodline out.
So, and we got a bunch of them, so but that's about a 5-6 pounder.
Well, that's 2 fish in 20 minutes.
We're getting there.
And I missed 2.
So we ought to have 4. I got to get you doing your job.
I appreciate that. I'm the host of the program. Sometimes I have to reiterate, it's important for O'Neill to catch fish.
O'Neill Outside with Travis Johnson, brought to you by your Southeast Toyota dealer. Let's go places. The Whitetail Institute of North America. Research equals results. Tough Shed, premier builder of sheds and garages. Carolina Skiff, go anywhere, do anything. And by Zach Brown's Southern Grind Knives, only the best make the cut.
Here, let me help you.
Get the nest. It's a light line. I can't throw them.
I'm not used to netting fish in this kind of a current. Good for you, son. That's great. Light line, small bait, live bait, great for kids, right?
Absolutely. That fish in this ripping current is a lot of fun.
Smallmouth bass, Pickwick Lake. And this is about the size of the ones we caught last time here?
Just about it. That's about a 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 pound fish. We have them here, you know, up to 6, 7 pounds and 3 to 4 pounds of good fish.
The current is so strong out on the river, they've opened the dam gates up above. So what we're having to do here is work this steep bank, and anywhere there's a break caused by a point in the rocks that knocks the current down a little bit, that's what we're going back and forth along this steep bank. And that Brian critter can catch them, buddy. This is pretty good fish, brother. Now I got 2 things to talk to you about when we see what this fish is. Number 1, this looks like this would be an awfully good thing for a man, for a dad to bring his son or grandchildren to do.
It would be a lot of fun. Let me get back there.
I mean, using live bait, all you have to do is cast. Oh, broke me off.
That's a good fish.
That was a good fish, yes indeed. Rats. But let me tell you something, since I did that. Okay, 2 lessons. People ask me all the time on my Facebook page, they call the radio show, and they say, what can I do? What can I do to be a better fisherman? If I'm not familiar with a lake at all, or I'm not successful on a lake, there's 2 things to do. Number 1, hire a guide. He will teach you more. He will teach you more in one trip than you can learn in 10 years. Number 2, always, if you can, you'll get more bites and catch more fish if you use light tackle than you will if you over tackle the fish. I see Brian saying yes, right. Light tackle gets more bites and gets more fish. Hire a guide, use light tackle. And I'm through preaching because I broke off and I hate that.
Yeah, man.
You got him already?
I already got him in here for you.
You got great technique. I swear. I know that I'm putting my bait in there where you are, but you've done it so much, it's just better.
Well,
That's 4 for you bites right here on this wall, and I've had 2. So that would tell me that you're twice as good as me doing this.
or twice as lucky, one day.
No.
I tell you, numb as my hands are, I can barely feel them. But anyway, small, but he's a fish, you know?
Absolutely. What a great place to bring a kid over here to do this.
It is. It is.
Because you could really, I'm not losing anything, you could really do this with a cane pole.
You could. You could take
Just drop a cane pole in there with a minnow.
a fiberglass pole or cane pole and set a float 2 foot deep and just go down the bluff.
Right.
Sure could. So.
Now, one more thing though, this is not exactly ideal conditions.
This is terrible conditions. I think we said water temperatures dropped 7 degrees overnight. Floodgates are on. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. But when you get conditions like that, that's why you call it fishing. You just got to do the best you can do.
Well,
you know?
one more time, we've done it before, but I want you to tell me, what's an average day for you, for somebody who didn't hear this earlier in the program?
An average day for me is 50 to 60 fish and a good day 75 to 100 of all kind of fish.
Okay.
But a 50 to 60 is a good all-day trip. That's consistent.
And I've done that with you before, so I believe you.
I think we did 24 in an hour, didn't
Yes,
we? If
we
I
did.
remember. Okay.
Time for the Southern Grind guest book this week from Keith Roach in New London, Missouri. He says, how accurate is a muzzleloader at 150 yards with 100 grains of powder? It's as accurate as you make it, about how much time you spend on the range to determine exactly what that bullet is going to do, whatever the size it is, every time at 150 yards. O'Neill, if I thought my shot was going to be 150 yards, I would use 150 grains of Pyrodex pellets or something of that nature. So, if you'd like to be awarded a Jackal Black and Tan Southern Grind knife from Zach Brown, go to o'neilloutside.com, leave your question or comment there on the guest book. If we use it on the show, Zach Brown will send you the knife, and it's a good one.
This portion of O'Neill Outside is presented by the Georgia Department of Tourism and Economic Development, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Resources Division, and Georgia State Parks and Historic Sites.
I'm not staying as tight to the rock as you are. Got it? Good for you. It can be done.
They're little, but they're fish. That's a little spotted bass or a Kentucky bass.
Oh, you got a spot?
Little spot or Kentucky bass, yeah. You can tell by those sandpaper teeth in there.
Smalley, where are you, son? Put him around here. Now we're basically fishing for locating these fish out of the current, right?
Right.
Nope, I tell you what, it would be really somebody who hadn't seen it or tried it would say that this is foolish because of it doesn't look fishy.
There you are.
I'm glad I just retired. 2 feet deep or so, 8-pound test line, smallmouth, Pickwick, and Brian Barton. And you can locate him at brianbarton.com.
Brian Barton Outdoors.
Outdoors.com. Okay.
Or you can email me at brianbartonoutdoors@aol.com.
Well, you got it rounded up.
I got it either way you go.
What impresses me, Brian, is the multitude of things that you have to do. This, the flat, around the bridge, there's a whole multitude of things to do within a mile.
And something you and I haven't even done, the Carolina rig, sitting up on the gravel bar, shell mound. We haven't even got to that. Another effective way to catch them. That's a nice fish.
Yes, it is.
Day like today, we'll take him, won't we?
Yes, indeed. Oh, have I got a cat? Oh, my favorite. Wherever we go, I don't care where it is, I always catch a catfish. Almost always catch a catfish.
Largemouth, I believe.
A largemouth, yes indeed.
Largemouth this time.
Want to get the net for you?
I'll get it.
You got it? Okay, that's catfish, spotted bass, smallmouth, largemouth, and drum.
5.
5. All right, we did the line size, the weight, the float, the technique. Time of the year for this is after October.
Right.
But for behind the dam was
September, October.
September, October.
But what's putting these fish where we're catching them today is that dam. TVA spilling water, current's coming hard. They're not going to fight that hard current. So they're coming in here and pulling on these bluffs, anywhere they can find an eddy pocket to get out of it.
Okay.
We're not got any big fish yet, but we're getting the little ones, and all the fish are going to move in.
We've broken off 3 times.
That's true. We've been popped 3 or 4 times. So.
Yeah.
But that's what it really makes it easier sometimes, because 90% of the lake, the fish can't stay in it in a flood stage, so
Right.
they have to move into these shallow areas or
Okay.
pockets.
And again, our conditions are as bad as they could get, other than having rain fall on us too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let's hope that doesn't happen.
You betcha.
All right.
It's a great fishing trip, Brian.
Well, I hope you enjoyed.
It's a great fishing trip.
Time for a True Turn tackle tip from TJ.
Fishing is a fabulous outdoor sport, isn't it? 35 million men and women in the United States buy fishing licenses every year. It's up to us, the two of us, to make sure that that next generation is involved in fishing also, for many, many reasons. Here's an idea. Test it out. Go to the local high school, the local middle school, make an appointment with the administrator, the principal, whomever you can, and offer a fishing class before classes begin in the morning, maybe one in the afternoon, maybe even offering to sponsor a fishing club for the students. Everybody can't be the starting quarterback, can they? But they can be involved in fishing, and believe me, fishing lasts a lot longer than football. And that's a great tip from TJ at True Turn, and it's a good one.
We have more from O'Neill and Travis, but first, let's thank these sponsors. Your Southeast Toyota dealer. Let's go places. The Furminator, best food plot implement on earth. Year One muscle car parts. O'Neill's new reel gun and marine oils, naturally the best. And by Crocodile Bay Eco Resort in Costa Rica. Now, let's join O'Neill for wild game and fish recipes on the Big Green Egg.
Now this is a little bit involved. It's called taco soup, but it's worth it, so pay close attention. Now, I have already cooked some buffalo, ground buffalo on the egg. Then I add black beans, beef broth, salsa, green chili peppers. It's getting better, isn't it? Green chili peppers, corn, some dry ranch dressing. See there? Powdered ranch dressing, dry ranch dressing, and taco seasoning. Now I'm going to stir this up, get it back on the egg, and I'll cook it for 40 minutes at 400. And it's going to mix together quite well. And when you try it, after you get the recipe, you're going to say, gosh, that O'Neill is so smart. And then I'll have to confess, someone else did it. I'm just parroting what they said for me to do. This is how you finish off the taco soup. Cheese, cilantro. Don't forget the cilantro. Gail doesn't like it, but man, O'Neill does. And then, which might be a surprise, sour cream. And be generous. And I'm here to tell you, this is outstanding. And you can get the recipe, o'neilloutside.com, biggreenegg.com. Big Green Egg, the best cooking experience. Can we call that a double?
I guess I have to give you half credit for that one. The thing about this float fishing, it's easy to get tangled up.
Oh, nice smallie. BrianBartonOutdoors.com. Somebody comes over here, they might catch a fish.
I hope so. I hope so. We have a lot of smallmouth on this lake, and they can come over and do this all day long.
This dam and the floodgates and everything, that's part of this action. What I like to demo to people is, my goodness, he's upset, Brian, is the dependability of it. If people make a trip like this, they want to have the confidence that they're going to get bit. They're going to have action. They're going to catch fish. That's what I want to demo.
Right.
And you're demoing that, because here it is. Is it noon yet?
Right at noon.
Noon, and we started fishing at
9:30.
9:30.
Yeah.
So in 2.5 hours, we've broken off 4 times and caught 15.
Yeah, and we've got 5 or 6 respectable smallmouth, and we're fishing on one of the worst days you could have as far as weather. So yeah, I think that does speak highly for Pickwick. You're always going to catch a few fish here.
Okay.
Always.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the size of the fishery.
Right.
And everything that's in it, from the size of the dam, the size of the lake, the speed of the current, the variety of fish, the variety of the ways that you catch them. This is quite a fishing experience.
And today we had to be versatile. We started out, we were going to drift like we started with the split shot. The conditions changed, the river come up, started flooding, so we adapted, done something. You just got to be moving, looking for them all the time.
Got to be angling.
You got to be angling.
Okay.
All right.
Closed captioning is provided by Fisher's Choice, the ideal solution to live bait.